Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 10th day of October, 2022. Just one note I want to talk about here before we get started. I'm not going to be here on Thursday. It's my birthday, and I'm going to take that day off. And I don't think I'm going to have time to do one of these ahead of time. If I do, then I'll get it done. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that today. The next few days are going to be pretty busy here, so I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm just going to plan to take that day off. So anyway, well, it's my birthday, so I don't know. I think I can take that one day off. I don't take any other days off. It doesn't seem like I do these on holidays. I don't know. I think last year I'm not sure. I might have. I don't know that I took last year off though. I think I was here, but maybe my birthday didn't fall on a Monday or a Thursday. Probably didn't. So I don't think I had to worry about it. But anyway, I hope everybody's had a good week, and I've started putting down the past readings here on a little post-it note on my screen. So I've got those up just in case, it's like I always say, oh, I think I had this one last time, or I think I had this one maybe last week or whatever. Now I can actually check. It's right there. I don't have to, before I was writing them on a piece of paper and then I couldn't find the doggone thing. So you know how that goes. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm alone in this insanity. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and go over the Esoteric Influencers today. All of the posts went up on the blog on Saturday, and the web address for Stepping Aside is imsteppingaside.com. And if you forget, you can click on Show More and scroll down past the description of what this is, and you'll see some links, and that's right there. The web address is right there. So, but let's go ahead and take a look at Monday's Esoteric Influences. If you're looking for approval from others to support an inner need for security, you might end up for example, nurturing them at the expense of your own needs. And in doing so, you can become caught up in something that actually prevents you from achieving the stability and security that you're looking for. There's just too much of an imbalance when you do that. And we all do it, but some people kind of make a career of it, and it's just, it doesn't work for them, and they don't realize it. But anyway, your intuitive sense should help you choose your moments more wisely, especially where family's concerned, so that you express your concerns in a clear and concise manner. But above all, I suggest that you avoid the prima donnas in the family who tend to draw others into their own drama. And if you need to step away to maintain your composure, I highly recommend you do so today. Just, keep your own needs in focus, and it's okay. You're not being selfish. You're there for other people. So it's okay to think about yourself. It's okay to be concerned about your own wellness and all of that. So, I don't know how you can be. It's a thing that empaths have to take into account. If you're constantly being drained by other people's energy, how do you help them? How do you do any of that? How do you help them? It's if you're not strong yourself. So that's why empaths have to take time to let go of all that energy and just kind of sit in their own source presence. It really makes a difference. To give you a whole lot more inner strength than that you really need to have. So anyway, just a thought. Let me move this over here. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Just move it over there just in case we want to refer to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's runes. First, we'll draw the above one, the as above side of the significators. The runes are the significators for the reading. They're kind of the central focus, and then the usually, sometimes the reading's all over the place, and I'm like, how do I connect all this together? But they're the significating focus of it. And then the cards would be the details of it. But the above side is the rune from the Elder Futhark. Oh, I've got my cord from my bag somehow inside the bag. It's like, it doesn't feel right. Here we have Degas. And then we'll discover the geomancy room by throwing down the 4 elemental ones, and then we'll put them in the order they're supposed to be, and I'll fish it out of the bowl here and show you what it looks like. That's the below side of things, the personality side or the ego side or the physical side of things. But here we have Dagaz. Looks like a little bow tie. Dagaz is actually a pretty complex rune. There's Laguz in it. There's Kenaz in all directions, bringing the light of spirit both inward and outward. But you stand in this, you can do little rituals where you draw or mentally draw it or draw it out on the ground and stand in the center of it. And it's always fun during eclipse, or not eclipse, but equinox times, where you stand in the center and you experience one half of the light time, and then the other, so light versus dark, basically, and you stand in the center of that. But if you are trying to understand a situation where you need to close something out and embrace something new, you can use it as well. But basically, Dagaz means new day. And it's one rune master calls this energy at its saturation point becomes its opposite. And realistically, it's coming to a conclusion and beginning anew, really. But there's a certain level of balance with it, keeping a balanced perspective. There's all kinds of different ideas you can think about in terms of that balance. But I like to stand in the center of Dagaz and feel myself on the threshold, either holding a balance or on the threshold of something new happening. And that's always an interesting feeling. So, given that it's the above side, then we're talking about that from a soul perspective or higher perspective. Now let's see what the lower side of things is going to show. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we're looking at acquisitio, which is gain. And this can just be an energetics. I mean, it can be, fortune and all of that, if I can find it. But its complement is emissio. There it is. And I'll show them both to you, and you'll see what I mean. The thing about there's technically only 8 geomancy runes, but because of the complement, there's 16. So you can see what I mean by that. They're just turned. This one's just turned the other way. So this would be emissio, and this is acquisitio. So loss and gain. So again, if you think of it in terms of Dagaz, you can kind of look at the balance between opposites, really. Or each other's complements, or you can think of it as self in others, or self and the other side of self. But for the purposes of this is gain. So we're going to gain some new balance. Maybe we're going to, if we're on the threshold of something new, if it's that, then perhaps it's going to be a positive type of experience. But we'll see. We'll see what the cards have to say, how they're going to define it all. So this just gives us a direction with the runes, and then the cards sort of define where that direction's going. That's probably the best way to say it. So I hope you got out to see the moon. I took pictures both of Maiden and of Mother last night. And Jupiter is so bright up there. It's so cool. It's just neat to look out there and see all of that. But because it was so bright, I couldn't really, I guess the Draconids were peaking night before last, and we couldn't see any of it because of the moon was too bright, and we didn't stay out there long enough. We used to live in a really quiet area, but now there is so much noise where we live. And it's rural. I don't know, but people are out driving around and big noisy trucks and things, and the sound just carries everywhere. And used to be the only thing you really heard was a train later on in the evening. And so sometimes you hear sirens, but you never heard the kind of noise we have now. It's just, so we don't sit out for too long because it's hard to, relax. We used to have neighbors that would get into fights that they would tell the neighborhood about. So there was actually more than one. One lived across from us, right across the street from us, and now that place is empty. But I think it's gone back to the county, and so there's nothing there. And the dwelling is there, but it's been condemned and stuff. So I don't know. But there was some folks down the way, a couple houses down, that would be really, really loud and fight, and it was just disturbing. Police were always there, It's one of those situations. That seems to have calmed down, but sometimes they get a little bit loud, but not like they did. But we like to sit out and look at the stars and things moving around, and mostly they're satellites and rocket bodies, but sometimes there'll be something up there that we don't. We've seen this, what is the SpaceX satellite, Starlink satellite train, when they're launching them. That's kind of interesting. Looks like a string of pearls, basically. But it's pretty cool to look at. We've seen it twice now. I think twice. Yeah, twice. So that's interesting. Let's cut the deck. Take the lower half. Well, so basically we have the Page of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Ten of Wands. And so the wands is the suit of or wands represents elemental fire. Pentacles represents elemental earth. So we've got fire and earth, grounding, and an exercise of will and creativity, and then of course Pentacles is grounding and the physical aspect of life, and then the Hierophant is divine mastery, basically. How you probably are going to manifest all of this in a way that's from a higher perspective. But let's take a look at I'm going to leave them in the order they are at the moment. We'll see if we need to change them up. But right now we've got, let's see, 5 and 10 is 15, so 6 energy. So the 6 numerology is going to be like assistance, empathy, guidance, a helping hand, advice. It can also mean health. It can mean home and hearth. So we'll just see we'll see what this is about. It could be that you're on the precipice of something new, especially because the Ten of Wands really has to do with your material security. And you'll see that in a moment if you're not familiar with the Ten of Wands. But with the Hierophant in the center, I have to wonder if we're really kind of on the threshold here of some spiritual awareness that will then benefit all of that. But let's take a look at the Page of Pentacles. Pages are about new experiences. They can be news bearers. Sometimes it can mean, it depends on the other cards. It can mean the birth of a child or a pregnancy or something like that. But it's kind of, this guy, he kind of leans into the future. He's the youthful aspect of the court. The knight is next. The knight's a little bit older. And then you have the queen and then the king. And so the page is going to be the student. And so here we have somebody with pentacles, though. We're talking about somebody who's very studious. You can see he's almost studying that pentacle that he holds in his hand. Kind of leaning into the future there a little bit. But he has a spiritual focus. He's reliable, he's dependable, he's practical, he's realistic. All kinds of earthy types of keywords there, or concepts. But he's kind of in his element there. Kind of a lovely scene there, where he's on some grass. You see the trees in the background. You see the mountain in the distance. And what is that right there? Oh, that's he must be up on some kind of a precipice here, because this little brown spot here indicates that he's up high, because you can see you can see the lines there. It kind of looks like a little cliff or incline there. And so he's up above everything in a way. You see the light of the sun, although you don't see the sun, but the light of the sun is in the background here. But I think that he's focused on new opportunities. He's focused, but on the study part of getting, in other words, getting what he needs to be able then to then go and with this card, engage in the new opportunities. But it begins the reading by suggesting that this has to do with home and hearth. With the Six Numerology, the same sort of thing. So the acquisitio of it all, the gain of it all, probably you're gaining some kind of experience and knowledge and being able to learn what you need to learn so that you can then go off and make your way in the world. But how you're going to do that involves the Hierophant. It's the card 5 of the major arcana. So you're looking at freedom versus restriction, really. And when you're growing up and you go off to college or you go off to trade school or whatever you do to gain the knowledge and the training that you need to then go out and make your way in the world, and develop some kind of a career. You've got knowledge and tradition down here with the crossed keys. Can you see them very well? They're way down here at the bottom. You can see them there better. So you've got knowledge versus tradition here, and you've got divine mastery. You can see he's holding 3 fingers, including the thumb, 2 fingers and a thumb. So there's your triplicity there. There's your triplicity there. You've got triplicity on the crown. You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got three crosses here, although you have 2 more down here to make 5. There's a certain level of balance. And the word I couldn't find this word when I had this before. I was looking for the word Trinity, and it's just like gone, but that's really what this is in response to. But it's the Trinity within. It's maintaining some kind of a higher level balance where spirit governs what you do in life instead of ego governing it. So there's some kind of higher purpose involved today. With maybe you've got some kind of maybe you've decided to go back to school, or you're entering some kind of an apprentice program or something that's going to get you the skills that you need to be able to then go out and there's mastery involved in that. But there's a higher purpose involved as well. So that's where you get the idea of divine mastery with the Hierophant. But there's idealism, hidden knowledge. There could be a teacher that comes into play here for you to help you gain those skills that you need. So in a sense with Degas, then it's a new day, isn't it? You're standing on the precipice or on the threshold of something new coming into your life. And again, at this point, it could be that it's something that will empower you to increase your own material security for yourself and your family or your future family or what have you. Because again, with the page, we're talking about a youthful individual. So someone in your family or you could be going off to college, could be entering again some kind of a training program that's going to benefit you later on. And again, that would be acquisitio, would be the benefit or the gain. But with all of that, then, we come to the 10 of Wands. Now here, you see this double line right here? I view that as a line of demarcation. And I've said this before, where this is now and this is then, or this is now and this is the future or something, but there's like a delineation between what's happening on this side of the line and what's happening on the other side of the line. And so it could have the sense of this is now and this is then, or this is where I'm at and this is my future. And in the background you see his home. 10 is about both endings and beginnings. And I've shown you this before. Let me see if I have to draw it out again. Well, I have. I did a rune, a bind rune with that version of it. Oh, I don't. It's right here. So I don't have to waste a post-it note. But you see the X in the middle? You got the X there, all right? But if you terminate the ends, you've got Degas. So again, you're standing with the 10. There's an element of that energy, I think, where you're standing on the precipice of something new. In fact, if you look at this, if you turn it that way, you've got a skewed, lots of future activities, endeavors going on here. But you've actually even got a skewed version of Degas here in the card. if you look at it that way. Now he's leaning into the future. He's walking toward his home. He's got all of these 10 wands in his hands. We can look at them as opportunities. But here's the thing. If what he did here to learn and to gain the knowledge and the skills that he needs to be able to then go have a career, maybe he opened a business. Maybe he's and these represent the new opportunities that he can then show his wife or his partner or whoever, and say, look what's coming our way. And in a sense, you can feel burdened by that because he's having to really lean into it so he can keep those wands upright, the staffs upright. But at the same time, you see all this element of growth up here. So you don't really know what so this kind of represents potential in a way, doesn't it? Because we don't know what these leaves are, if they were actually growing in a tree on the ground. We don't know yet what kind of tree that is. We just know that there's some little growth happening. So this is new growth. So it could symbolize new opportunity. So you've gone and you've gotten your training, and now you've got all these could be new customers. They could represent that. Maybe you are opening a business and you're starting to get a lot of business in. But whatever it's doing, he's heading toward home, and it's going to benefit his material security, basically. And realistically, that's what the page is trying to do here, is to develop that type of experience and knowledge and skill set that can then benefit him materially in his life. There's a sense here of trusting in the moment. He's not really looking where he's going because he knows where he's going. And he's confident about his future because he's got all of these opportunities, all of these new experiences, okay, to then take home and say, look what's going to happen for us, But again, keeping that perspective that maybe this is not necessarily he doesn't necessarily represent the Pope in this card. Maybe it's just more a teacher that you've found that's really going to help you succeed in life. And you're going to do it from a level of mastery versus a level of something else. He seems there's a little bit of selflessness. I'm going to take the first half of the cards and let's take a few more cards off of that. But there's a level of selflessness there where he's doing this not just for himself but for others as well, for home and hearth. Again, the Six Numerology for today. So who knows? Maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to take the 13th card because I think we need another card to give us some kind of idea of what's going on. So we get the Fool. Undeveloped potential. And I guess that's we'll talk about this here, but I think the idea here is especially with the page, I look at the page and the Fool and the ace of the minor arcana as sort of the undeveloped potential of each subset of the tarot. And because you don't know where it's going to take you, but you're going to trust in the moment, just like this guy is trusting where he's going. He's trusting the moment. He's trusting that he knows the path forward, which leads to home, basically. But here we have the, again, similar to this card, the sun in the background, although you see the sun up here, which are the rays of spirit. They're the cosmic rays coming down, and rays 1 through 7, basically, that imbue the soul with all of the spiritual awareness that it needs to be able to move forward in its life and form. You see his little dog at his side. As he takes this leap of faith off the precipice into something new, again, totally aligns with the Degas energy today, on the precipice of something new that's going to bring you gain and something positive in your life. If you take that leap of faith, and here the page takes the leap of faith, doesn't he? Well, he kind of leans into the leap of faith. but he's exploring his future. But again, with Pentacles, there's a spiritual side to this, which, there's some divine purpose involved here. Where you're going out and you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your family or your future family, what's going to bring you the kind of material security that you need. And so you're willing to take the time it takes, really, to go through the education, to go through the training, to gain the skills you need to have, so that then you can come home and say, look what I've done. Look what's coming our way. We have all these new opportunities, all this propensity for growth up there. And there's a lot there. Now, and again, you might think it's carrying a heavy burden, but it's really not. Not if it's going to benefit your family. So maybe there's some sacrifice there that you have to make in order for, maybe the goal is to buy a new home or something, or to buy a new car, or to put money away for your kids' education or something. But there's something about the future that's involved here with the 10 and new beginnings. Maybe you've gained some more skills that you can apply to the business you have or the business that you work for, and it then gives you more opportunities. Maybe you get a different position within the business if it's not your business, and maybe you're going to have some kind of maybe you get a promotion that brings you more money. But ideally, you've got the Fool here that's saying that it's undeveloped potential. The potential's there for anything. And again, if you keep your focus, and you keep your away from the ego and more onto spirit, then you've got higher awareness guiding your hand and guiding the choices you make and guiding your purpose, and having it be a higher purpose than just, the immediacy of, I want what I want. It's not that ego side of things that's happening here. You're able to think about a higher purpose here. And usually that involves family and what you can do to help keep the family safe and secure. So I think that there's a sense of planning here. That, again, with the Fool, you're going to take that leap of faith that you have the ability to do what you do, and why not use it? Get the skills you need, get the training you need, seek a wise mentor if you need to do that. Develop a relationship there, and listen to what they have to say. Listen to the experience they have to offer. You may choose to do something entirely different, but you can take that information that they've given you and apply it to whatever it is you're doing. Take that leap of faith into new opportunities, into new growth, and the undeveloped potential that can come from all of that. And then you end up with acquisitio and gain. You gain something from the experience. And in this case, I think that, there's undeveloped potential realistically in the Page of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Ten of Wands. That again, if you go from the standpoint of understanding the balance between freedom versus restriction, then you won't be upset about having to put in the time that you have to have. You won't be so impatient that you struggle against that whole experience. Some people will leave school early because they think they know everything they need to know, when in fact they don't. And so you have to have that patience. Patience is also part of Pentacles. That studiousness, that reliability, that practical application of all of that into developing the skills that you need to have so that you can then pursue your dreams, your new opportunities, and your material security for the family. Because again, along with the sixth energy of the whole reading, we have in the Fool is card 0, so it didn't add anything to the numerology. But you basically have, we're really talking about home and hearth with the sixth energy as well, with the assistance and guidance maybe coming from the Hierophant card. But who knows? In the meantime, as you gain all of this, maybe you'll be the one to be the Hierophant for someone else. To be once you've gained all of this experience, then in the end, you're going to be able to offer that same gift to somebody else. Maybe you hire somebody that has some training but not enough, and so you work with them and maybe they're your apprentice or something, and so the table gets turned in that way. And you become the wise mentor for someone else taking their own leap of faith. So, well, let's see. I don't know that it necessarily, well, maybe with Othala. Othala was one of the runes that went into the reading today, or the esoteric influences for today. So, but I talked about more of that in terms of inner security than, well, and there's also family in there, but instead of tradition, but then again, possessions and protection and all of that, that's also part of Othala. So I don't know. There might be something you can glean from